From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Thursday, May the 16th, 2024. 5 Israeli soldiers were killed and 7 injured in a tragic case of mistaken identity in Gaza last night. 22-year-old Captain Ro'i Beit Yaakov, 22-year-old Staff Sergeant Gilad Aryeh Boim, 20-year-old Sergeant Daniel Chemu, 20-year-old Sergeant Ilan Cohen, and 21-year-old Staff Sergeant Betzalel David Shashua were killed when they were mistakenly fired upon by an IDF tank. An initial investigation by the IDF said tanks shelled a building that the soldiers were in Jabalia after mistakenly identifying them as enemy forces. 3 IDF soldiers were injured, one seriously when the IDF said an explosive UAV crossed the territory of Lebanon towards the territory of Israel and exploded in the area of Metula. The incident, the IDF said, is being investigated. Also today, several barrages of rockets were fired at northern Israel from Lebanon. The IDF said earlier an approximate 40 rockets were identified crossing from Lebanon toward northern Israel. Several were successfully intercepted. Dozens more were reported launched into northern Israel later today as well. Israeli fighter jets struck several Hezbollah terror targets in Lebanon, including one of the launch sites where rockets were fired from. The IDF said Hezbollah continues to endanger both the Lebanese and Israeli civilian populations on a daily basis. A non-commissioned Israeli officer in the IDF was stabbed today in the West Bank. He was lightly to moderately injured in the incident, which took place at the Yitzhar Junction. The Palestinian terrorist fled the scene but was apprehended several hours later by IDF forces. And overnight last night, a Palestinian tried to stab Israeli border police officers in East Jerusalem. He was shot and killed before causing any harm. Anti-Israel protests continue at college campuses across the United States. On Tuesday night, the president of Sonoma State University, Mike Lee, sent an email announcing that he had agreed to the protesters' demand for an academic boycott of Israel, and then yesterday said that he was taking a leave of absence. The JTA cites Lee writing that, "In my attempt to find agreement with one group of students, I marginalized other members of our student population and community. I realize the harm that this has caused." The president of California State University, the umbrella to which Sonoma belongs, said that Lee had been suspended for insubordination after announcing the boycott agreement without approval. Jewish organizations welcomed the suspension. The American Jewish Committee said that agreeing to an academic boycott of Israel rewards those who provoke anti-Semitism and silences those who seek a nuanced understanding of a protracted conflict, calling on the California State University system to immediately reverse the boycott and to restore academic freedom at Sonoma. This past Monday, Second Gentleman Douglas Emhoff hosted the White House wrote Jewish stakeholders to provide updates on the implementation of the national strategy to counter anti-Semitism. A press release from the White House said the meeting focused on priorities for the second year of the strategy's implementation, including campus safety, noting the Department of Education's Office for Civil Rights had issued new guidance to schools meant to ensure that colleges and universities do a better job of protecting Jewish students and all students. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Thursday, May the 16th. At 7 o'clock, former head of the Anti-Defamation League, Abe Foxman, joins Charles Small and David Harris on the ISGAP Hour. At 8, Rabbi Ammiel Hirsch is joined by New York Times columnist Bret Stephens to discuss the White House's stance regarding Israel and more. At 9, the late Abba Eban is on L'chaim. At 10 o'clock, Shahar Azani speaks to Eric Mandel during his visit to Israel this week as the country marked Yom Hazikaron and Yom Haatzmaut. That program is also coming up after this newscast. And that's the JBS News Update for Thursday, May the 16th, 2024. I'm Teisha Bader. Am Yisrael Chai.